Welcome to part 7, my series of my trip to Japan and South Korea. So today is the day we're heading to the DMZ, and that will be the main focus of this entire video. So we have our driver pick us up from our hotel at around 7. Temperature is pretty cold, it's -6 degrees today in Seoul. So now he's going to be driving us to board a larger bus that will take us to the border and many sites around there. So this trip was booked via Klook, and everything, the transportation from your hotels and everything's all accounted for and back to your hotels in Seoul. So it's pretty convenient, and they pick you up really early in the morning and then you finish off around 2 PM in the afternoon. There were also some delays when getting to the main area, as this was actually the day that the previous president Yoon Suk-yeol was actually arrested. So there were a lot of police officers and some roadblocks and traffic jams in the main area. So that's why it took quite a while, but after that everything was fine. So we're going to the new bus. This is the bus that will take us all the way to the border for the rest of the day.
I'm just going to tell you a little bit of historic information, how the DMZ was formed. And then after that, I will explain about the tour today. And then I will also tell you about the rules that we need to follow. Okay? And the tour is starting right now. And because it's the off season, we have less waiting time. What's good for us is, so what time are we expecting back to be City Hall? Around 1 to 1:30. So now, until we get to the first destination, the beautiful city called Paju City, I'm just gonna tell you brief history, okay? So as you all know, Korea, our country, is divided country, right? Did you guys also knew that we were one country for over 4,000 years? We have a beautiful history together, but in the year of 1945, we were divided. So when South Koreans, like me, when I learned about the history of division, first thing that we learn is how we were occupied by Japan for 35 years. Okay, so now when we arrive in the first destination is actually the waiting area, where at 9 o'clock the soldiers call all the tour guides and they will give us the schedule, and then you will have free time to drink some coffee, look around, and take pictures. Taking pictures is okay in the first destination, okay? So do you remember the first border line that we had? It was called 38 parallel. It was not a street border line because we only had this wire fence up to my high, which was only like 5.5 feet, and also people could meet in the middle. We could talk, we could send letters to North Koreans. We did not have any problem with communicating. But now, can I go to the borderline and can I talk to the North Koreans? Do you think it's possible? Not at all, because not only I cannot really meet them physically, but I cannot even get there because it's all minefield, okay?
Oh, this is actually North Korea in the distance.
I know it gets foggy again, but that is the river called Imjin River. Only one river away, it is North Korea, and that's why we have this wire fences and then guard posts all the way, because it is to us, it is no man's river. We cannot enter whatsoever because January and July, it is the busiest season where all the defectors are running away from North Korea. So how can they do it? Because they could get shot, right? Along the borderline, North and South Korean soldiers cannot shoot straight because the bullet cannot go past the borderline, right? That's why when the river gets frozen, like today, they run. They only do it like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and also when the river is very high, when the water level is very high because of the monsoon season, that's when they swim a lot to run away. And we call this group of people defectors, and now we have 40,000 of them who's ran away from 1990s. Okay, so now we are arriving in the first destination.
So after a 1 hour drive, we've arrived in the DMZ. So this is actually a park in Paju, a city near the North Korean border. So earlier on, I'm not sure if you heard me in the video, but we did see a glimpse of North Korea. Yeah, so it's quite surreal to be so near such a country. Alright, so now we're getting some free time over here, about half an hour, so we can visit and see the different sites. So this is actually a train and locomotive that could take you all the way to Lisbon, Portugal, and be the world's longest railroad until the North Koreans blew it a few years back, a few months ago. So in front, she did say that these three Chinese characters over there, there's a character called Pai, which is like to pray. So the people of separated families would come here and would pray every this New Year, which the Korean New Year follows the same as the Lunar New Year, which is in 2 weeks' time actually. I'm filming this in the middle of January, so around the 12th of January. Yeah, and also on the there's a little railroad over there, which links to the locomotive I showed you earlier on. And if we move inside, we can see a cable car later on. So I'm just going to walk there slowly. So here you have a monument that's known as a UNESCO Memory of the World. It was constructed in 1983, and you see a mom and a child crying over there. So there's actually a TV serial, if I'm not wrong, that actually lasted for 183 days continuously. So the aim of it was to connect separated families that had assumed their relatives were in North Korea but were actually in South Korea. So you see in the distance there's a little bridge over there. That's what the North Koreans call the Bridge of No Return, as people could walk there and walk directly into North Korea. Yeah, so we're actually really near North Korea already. Oh yeah, this is also called the Bridge of Freedom. So essentially, yeah, you can see the line over here, that's the border, and we are over here. So we're going to go closer to the Dora Observatory, and that's where we will actually be able to see probably some North Korean entities like the flag poles and whatnot. Yeah, so this is the railroad that connected the steam locomotive we saw earlier on. So it could have been one of the world's longest directly connected railroads. Currently, the world's longest directly connected railroad actually stands from Singapore all the way to Lisbon, Portugal. And of course, they said not to enter, but yeah, you can just see over here. And these are very famous soldiers that wear sunglasses indoors. I mean, if you watch a video like this video online by Conan O'Brien, he did talk about that, and that's how I also found out about the tours that actually exist to come to this place. So there is a locomotive with bullet holes and all that in front. You can't take pictures or videos past a certain point over there, so I can't film over there. Yeah, so that thing, they say it was blown up by North Korea in the past, and those are the remnants of it. Yeah, so this is actually the first park, and there'll be another 2 more or 3 more areas that we are going to be visiting on the tour. So now I'm going to head back to the bus, and then we'll head to the next part of the tour. There are quite a number of military checkpoints, so there'll be areas I can't film, so I'll just tell you about them after we have crossed those areas. So just as I'm walking back to the bus, I see this on Instagram that North Korea launches multiple short-range ballistic missiles. Surreal to be seeing that in the DMZ, literally. So I believe the next stop is the Dora Observatory, so let's see if that's where we're heading to. And afterwards we'll be heading to a tunnel that North Korea tried to dig to get into South Korea. So those will be the other 2 places that we will be visiting. So just now we saw that area with barbed wire. Actually beyond that is also South Korea. It's not the DMZ just yet. It is within the DMZ zone, but it's also part of South Korea. So afterwards we'll be crossing into the area, into those 2 places, which are even closer towards the North Korean border. So let's go into the bus first.
Yes, this is the ginseng farm. Have you guys ever heard about the root ginseng? Okay, you know, Koreans in a lot of Asian countries, we believe in ginseng because it gives us very strong immune system. Okay, as you will see, this place has been shut down completely ever since 2016, and the road suddenly gets disconnected very soon. About 200 meters away from here, it was blown away. So now that is the Kaesong toll gate. The toll gate now which have become useless. Okay, so this is the Kaesong Industrial Complex.
So this is the Dora Observatory, and on the second level you have the observatory where you can see North Korea, but you're not allowed to film or take videos there. So here are some pictures that I saw online. Let me just display it for you over here. Yeah, so it's pretty surreal to actually be seeing North Korea. There's a cafe in the building, and yeah, they're quite strict with the filming and photography here, so I'll try to be a lot more careful when filming around this area. So this is the next area that we can film at. I'll take pictures at, so that's why I'm filming here again. So this is the Dora Observatory. This is the previous one. There's a new one, which was the one I just went to, and yeah, this tour visits 3 places. So the park earlier on, and then afterwards this Dora Observatory, and lastly the third tunnel. I'm not sure if I'm able to film there, but I'll try and see. You know, I'll get pictures online to show you how it looks like. And there's free Wi-Fi on the bus as well, so I can kind of see how close we are to North Korea on Google Maps. Let me just show you down here. So we are pretty close. You can see there's a borderline over there, and we are right here. The border is literally there, so the DMZs, yeah, we are within that zone already. So the third tunnel is down here, it's even closer. So we'll try and see if we can film or take any pictures there. The reason why they didn't want people to film in North Korea is because they said the North Korean government was upset that tourists in South Korea were filming and posting on social media. So that's why they decided to just discontinue and ban filming at some locations. So now we're about to enter the third tunnel. We can't film going inside, so I had to keep my phone and camera and everything. This is how it looks like on the outside. I'll tell you more about it later on. Okay, so I just did the 3 tunnels, and yeah, I'll put some pictures here. It's like a workout because of how steep the tunnel is going down, and it lasts for roughly 200 meters. So definitely some level of moderate fitness is required, but you can always take things slowly. It's really interesting as you go very deep underground, and you are able to see the 3 concrete walls that were constructed to sort of prevent the North Koreans from ever reusing the tunnel to try to infiltrate South Korea again. So this is the only area out of this entire exhibition where I am allowed to film or take pictures. And behind is actually the 38th parallel, so I'll just bring you there. So at one point of the tunnel experience, the deepest point in where there are mirrors that allow you to see North Korea, the tunnel that they actually built, you will actually be 170 meters from the border of North Korea. So as you can see, this is the map over here. Yeah, so behind there is a wall, there's a line that divides the 38 parallels, so I'll just take you to see it. So in the distance you can hear some K-pop. That's actually the South Koreans blasting it to the North Koreans just to annoy them. So this is the closest to the DMZ that you can actually get. So the guide did say that you can stand behind something and or on the right or something, and it will show you, and like, you know, you can just take the picture of, oh, I think it's here, is it? Yeah, so I'm actually in North Korea technically. So now I'm 1 foot in North Korea and 1 foot in South Korea. Also, this is actually the 38th parallel that I'm standing on right now. That is crazy. Yeah, that's insane. So Gasong, or I think it's Kaesong, it's 22. We are closer to North Korea, this North Korean city of Kaesong, which you can actually see on Google Maps over here. I'm not sure if you can see it. Then Seoul is obviously where we came from. So this is pretty cool to be standing right here. So anyway, we're going to head back onto the bus. Maybe I'll just show you a bit more of this area. We have quite a bit of time here, 11 until 11:30. Then after I'm not sure there's one more stop or this is the last stop. I'll just update you on the bus later on. So let's head back to the bus. So this is the last stop, which is like a farmer's market sort of area. There's a lot of farms around the area. So these are all the different products that are locally sourced, locally produced here. And the guide sort of explains and advises you on what to get. And these are red beans, and these are like barley seeds and glutinous rice. So this is like red ginseng extracts, and this is like red ginseng liquor. You can see the ginseng root over there. With that, this concludes my DMZ tour, so I'll just be concluding it with this voiceover over the view here. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this rather insightful tour to the DMZ. Well, I've always been reading about it and studying it for the past almost 10 years of my life, going through primary school all the way up to junior college. So coming here and really seeing how history is unfolded in front of me was really surreal. I'll say it's the most memorable part of my entire trip to Korea, as you really get to see so many aspects of it. Typically, you always hear about the war and the damage it has caused, but you don't really think about other things like separated families and also the livelihoods of the locals that live around the DMZ and still go about their daily lives as per usual, even though there's still a war that hasn't technically ended yet. The guide was also really good in providing commentary and explaining each and every area of the entire tour and its significance in the Korean War. I'm really thankful that I managed to leave without encountering any issues, having seen how things have been in the past, with North Korea getting a bit more aggressive as well. There was one area that I really wanted to visit that was actually called the Joint Security Area, those United Nations owned blue houses, but the guide told us that their area is off limits after a US soldier actually defected to the north last year, if we're not wrong, and afterwards they completely closed off the tour for anyone to visit that place. And that particular tour was also run by the United States Army and not conducted by any tour operator that you can just readily book online. There were also a lot of restrictions of where you could film and take photos of that weren't in place that seemed 10 or 11 years ago, which is why a lot of the pictures that you'll see me put up in the video were actually taken from over a decade ago when tourists were allowed to film at more areas than we were allowed to. Alright, that's it for part 7. Do stay tuned for part 8 that will be coming out very soon, and that will wrap up the entire series on my trip to Japan and South Korea. So I shall see you then.